Hi everyone, in today's video we are going to talk about how to improve performance when reading data with EF Core. When working with Entity Framework Core, developers often need to retrieve multiple entities from a database based on some collection of identifiers or values. For example, let's explore our application. We have one web API endpoint to read our products. First, we get identifiers of products from external system. Then we write a query on our products. We include product categories and write this simple where statement where product IDs from external system, where it contains the product from the database. We perform a simple projection and return the products. I have simplified retrieval of product IDs from external system, and I just read the first 20 product identifiers. Our DB context contains products, categories, and product items. Each product contains of the following properties and a child navigation property to category and two product items. Let's run this endpoint and see its performance. In my solution, I have an HTTP request file, and let's run a simple get endpoint to warm up EF Core. Next, let's call our product contains method. As you can see, the performance of this method is 139 milliseconds. Let's explore the SQL generated by this query. As you can see, we select the needed fields from the products table, and we perform a left join to the products table itself. It means we perform a self join on the same table, and we write a simple where statement when we have our product ID in and a list of 20 of our product IDs. As you can see, we select here 20 product IDs. So what's the problem with this method? First is its performance degradation. Even if you have proper indexes, like this is a primary key, the SQL where in statement can become slower as the number of parameters increase. Also, databases have a limit of how many parameters can be in this where statement that you write with link where query. So how can we fix this problem? We can try a workaround. Let's pretend we have 2000 items and we will perform this selection in batches. Let's define batch size equal to, let's say, 500 items. Let's create a list of products and create a simple for loop. And so we will select our products in batches. Let's write product IDs. Let's select our products. We will call await DB context products where and call to list async. Finally, we will append this item to our all products list. We need to perform a select statement to perform our projection. Let's run and test this out. Okay, our application is up and running. Let's warm it up and send our contains request. As you can see, this request finished in 277 milliseconds, which is pretty slow, and the performance will decrease even more if you add more items in this list. So how can we fix this problem? We will install a NuGet package called the Entity Framework Extensions EF Core. Let's add it to our project. Entity Framework Extensions library is famous for its bulk operations. It supports various database providers and provides bulk write methods. But only few developers know that this library provides a bulk read method, and this method will solve our problem with where and contains statement. So, Entity Framework Extensions library provides a ready method called where bulk contains. And here we need to specify our product IDs list as first parameter, and as a second parameter, we need to provide an ID field to know how to match our products in the database. Let's add this endpoint to our HTTP file and call it bulk where contains. Let's run our application and test the performance. Okay, as you can see, bulk contains operation executed in 51 milliseconds, which is 6 times faster than the regular contains with batches. Instead of passing thousands of parameters in where in SQL clause, as we have seen previously, it follows the following steps. First, it creates a temporary table in the database. Second, it inserts your filter values into the temporary table. Third, it performs a join of your entity table with a temp table. The fourth step is to return the filtered results. And the fifth step is clean up the temporary table. And this approach significantly improves query performance for large datasets. Entity Framework Extensions library offers 5 main methods for bulk data retrieval. The first method we have already observed is called where bulk contains. The second method is where bulk not contains. Third method is bulk read. Fourth method is where bulk contains filter list. And the last method is called where bulk not contains filter list. Let's explore 4 other bulk methods. As we have already explored the where bulk contains method, I want to note that this method is particularly useful in synchronization scenarios, where you need to retrieve thousands of products from your database and compare this data from external system, like we have emulated here, API or a file import. Basically, you can omit this second parameter if you compare items by a primary key, but if you compare by another field, like for example, we can match by the product's name. You can also filter by multiple properties simultaneously. Here you need to provide an anonymous object where you specify few fields, for example, product name and product category ID. The where bulk contains method returns iQueryable and it can be chained with any EF core link method such as select, where, order by, include, etc. Let's explore a second method called where bulk not contains. I will duplicate this API method. Where bulk not contains method is the opposite to where bulk contains. It retrieves entities where a specified property does not match any value in the collection. That's why this method is useful when you need to find entities that are missing from an external system or when you want to exclude a large set of items for your query results. Let's rename our list of product IDs with discounted products, and as a result, this will retrieve our products except those in the discounted products IDs. As you can see that our discounted product IDs start from 1 and the last item is 2000, and our list of products returned has the first item with ID 2001. This means that this method returned all our products from the database, excluding the discounted product IDs. I have created a new web API endpoint with a list of product requests, and each request contains product identifier, product code, and supplier code, and we need to match our products by these three properties. If we don't need to perform other operations on the DB context after where bulk contains operation, we can directly call the method called bulk read and provide our input list. When performing a bulk read, I will provide an anonymous object that matches by ID, product code, and supplier code. Our web API is up and running, and I have prepared a small request code snippet to test the bulk read method. As you can see, after calling this method, we have successfully retrieved first and second product from our database. So again, the bulk read method works the same as where bulk contains, but it doesn't require you to chain with other methods to return results. The difference is where bulk contains method returns iQueryable, and the bulk read method returns a list. You can also use the bulk read async method with an await statement. So we will write db context products, and we will use the where bulk contains filter list method. We'll provide our list as the main parameter, and we will match our products by product IDs. And we will call to list, as it returns items in the input that are found in the database. Let's call this endpoint, and as you can see, this endpoint returns two products, first and second, which are present in our database, and the third item is not in our list. Where bulk contains filter list is particularly useful when you need to split your data into existing and non-existing items, such as separating records that need to be inserted from those that need to be updated. This method returns items from your input list and not your database entities that match rows in the database. The final method we will explore is where bulk not contains filter. And this method is a complete inverse of the previous one. It filters your input list by returning only the items that don't exist in the database. As you can see, this method returned the ninth product that is not found in our database. This method is useful when you want to identify new records that need to be inserted, or when you need to find items from your import that are missing in your database. So let's recap when to use each method. Use the bulk read method when you want immediate results, such as a list of your products, when you don't need to apply additional link operations, and where you are working with a deserialized data that needs to be matched against the database. Use the where bulk contains when you need to chain additional link methods, such as where, select projection, or order by. Also, this method is useful when you want to build a query in multiple steps with multiple conditions before executing it. Use this method when you want to retrieve database entities. And use where bulk contains filter method when you want to filter your list and return items from your list and not your database. Use where bulk not contains method when you want to retrieve database entities, and use where bulk not contains filter list when you want to filter your list. Entity Framework Extensions library is a commercial library with a free trial. You can use this free trial for 1 month and extend at the beginning of another month to see if this library meets your project needs. For commercial usage, the time saved in development and the improved application performance typically pays off for the license within the first month of use. Thank you for your attention.